Hey, this is JR, the TexPat OTG. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about audio for your video. This is going to be a little bit on the simple side. It's not necessarily just for beginners, but for beginners and people that are just trying to improve their skills and their results and not spend a whole lot of money doing it. We're going to discuss a few things that affect the audio of your videos, the quality and listenability of it, and the ease of doing the work. You know, the first thing that you have to decide when you start shooting for YouTube is, are you going to be one of those guys that sits behind a little desk, puts some colored lights behind you, has a big boom mic, and starts talking? If you're doing that, you're going to use a condenser mic or a dynamic mic, and that'll be about it. There's really not many other choices. Maybe a pencil condenser mic, but yeah, there's a few microphones that work for you, and they come in all kinds of price ranges. I've seen them from $25 to thousands of dollars. So there's no real simple answer to what's going to be best for you there. I know that acoustically treating your work area is going to be a big issue. If you do that, your chances of success have improved dramatically. When they say acoustically treating, they don't mean just stapling a bunch of that dimply foam on the walls. You really need to read up on it and know what you're doing, or at least have a better idea than the guys with the stapler and the foam. Early on, Ray and I decided we wanted to shoot most of our videos outside. We like walking around, and we like the freedom of shooting things that are active and moving. So we didn't do a lot of videos inside. And that pretty quickly proved that the shotgun mic wasn't the tool for us.
I think so.
Lagoon at SBMA. The Lagoon at SBMA is one of the prettiest places in the Longapo to have a cold beer, and it's not something that is a real joy to talk about by any means, but it's a serious thing. It's serious here in Vietnam. This is JR, the TexPat in Saigon, and we're going to talk about the death penalty for drug trafficking. Now I'm using two cameras to shoot. I've got the Osmo going over here, and I've got this one going over here. And I'm using my lightweight equipment set. I don't have anything complicated, and everything is on quick release. So I don't have anything.
No, it's not. It's why we were lucky that we knew somebody.
But I've seen this one, I was like, man, it checked up all the boxes that I had, no construction around. And so he gave it to me for $550 a month.
Yeah, that's not bad. Near the ocean?
12 million, yeah. I'm on the seaside.
A lot of things to consider when you're starting up. One is, what's your crew size? Are you a crew of one, a solo shooter? Are you a crew of two? Maybe you and your girlfriend, or you and your best buddy, or you and your wife. How many people are you going to have doing the work? This is really going to affect your workflow. You need to know how many people you have and how many people you can depend on. So having a crew is really important. You know, you've got to kind of know what you've got. I've got a good one myself. My wife Rhea is a good shooter. She's good with tripods and gimbals and is doing a real good job on audio now. So I'm really happy with what she's doing, and it sure makes our workflow smooth. The one thing that I've noticed is that if you watch a lot of YouTube videos on how to do things, the first thing they tell you, if you're going to shoot outside, you need a shotgun microphone. Shotgun microphones can't be used inside because of phase problems. Well, that's not entirely true. There's a lot of recordists and voice talents that use shotgun mics inside. It depends on the room treatment, the room size. It's not just the type of the microphone that you have to consider. It has a lot of other factors to consider. Audio is pretty darn complicated. Little things like what you hang on the wall or what's on the floor or the square footage of the room, a lot of things like that, ceiling height, a lot of things like that can make a difference. So don't think just because you're inside that you can't use a shotgun mic, or that you can. takes a lot of testing, a lot of trial and error. Oh, the other thing that is kind of a myth is that your video really won't be cinematic unless you use some high dollar shotgun microphone to record your audio. And that's not true either. It depends on what your viewer is going to watch the video on. If he's going to watch it on his big screen TV at home with a good audio system, it's going to be an entirely different experience than watching on his smartphone with the little speaker on the side. A lot of people just ignore that. They buy the equipment that it takes to make feature films to shoot stuff that's going to be played back on a smartphone with the little tiny speaker on the side. And that makes absolutely no sense at all. You need to shoot and budget your production to the way it's going to be played back. In the old days, if you were going to shoot a major motion picture, you wouldn't have chosen an 8mm camera. And also, if you were going to shoot the family picnic, you wouldn't have chosen a 35mm camera either. So, how's it going to get played back? What's it going to be watched on? I think, if I'm not mistaken, YouTube in their statistics gives you that information. They tell you what people are watching on. If you know that, you know a lot about how you should budget your equipment dollars. After you've decided who's going to be watching your video and how they're going to be watching it, you can start looking for equipment that fits that need. That's real important. Don't overspend. It's just a stupid thing to do. Shoot your video and spend your money for the experience that the viewer is going to have. Look on your YouTube analytics and you'll see how many people are watching on a smartphone, a TV, or watching it on their laptop or a PC. Once you know that, you kind of can set your budget and you kind of know what you need to have to get the best results. Quite honestly, it's really hard to tell on YouTube what the quality of the equipment was that shot the video. If you go out and spend a ton of money and buy a red camera and buy sound devices, mix pre-3s and DPA microphones and Sheps microphones, things like that, probably no one would ever know the difference between that and shooting it on your Apple iPhone. That's sad to say, but it's true. YouTube does all kinds of signal processing to their videos so that they can handle the volume that they have to show on the internet every day. Try to set your budget to match the viewer experience that the person is expecting to get. If he's using a smartphone, he's going to get a good picture. He may not get good audio. If he's watching on a big screen TV or a PC with a really good monitor, he's going to expect a different experience. And you've got to set your equipment choices to match the viewer experience that the majority of your viewers will have. So if 70% of your audience is watching on a smartphone, you probably could hold off buying that red camera. And you probably don't need that Sheps microphone either. So I've been doing this for about 5 years and I've got some advice. Is don't listen to everybody on YouTube that your video's not going to be cinematic if you don't use this and that. You probably got the equipment you need or nearly have the equipment you need to produce good video for YouTube. The results are not being watched on high quality equipment. I looked at my statistics the other day and 70-something% were watching the YouTube videos that I make on smartphones. I'm not going to buy that red camera just yet. I'll wait. This is Panther. Panther's my little black cat. I don't know why he's up here. He doesn't usually bother me when I'm shooting video, but today he's right in the middle of it. I'm going to give you some advice that's based on the experience that I have making YouTube videos for 5 years. I also have a background in photography and film. With that, I picked up some knowledge too. Mainly in the last 5 years, it's been a YouTube experience. Here's what I've learned. Your first microphone needs to be a lavalier. Not a shotgun mic, not a handheld mic like the interview mic that I used. It needs to be a lavalier. Lavaliers don't show They can be hidden under your clothes. If you have multiple people mic'd up with lavaliers, your sound levels are the same. They're really great. You can use them outdoors, you can use them indoors. Because the microphone is close to your mouth, you get really good audio. You can buy a $20 lav mic and it may sound as good as a $500 lav mic, which they do make. I personally buy little lav mics that cost about 20 bucks. And the reason that I do it is because they sound really good with my voice and they plug into just about anything. They have a little battery in them. They'll work in a recorder, they'll work in a camera, they'll work in a phone, and they're about 20 bucks. I've broken several of them. I keep a couple of spares around. I think I've got 3 now with my recorders, and I've got 2 extras just in case. And they work great. And I guarantee you, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between someone that's recorded me with an expensive lav mic or an expensive shotgun mic and an expensive recorder. You won't be able to tell the difference, especially after YouTube has stirred their magic into the process. My stuff has all been shot on Tascam recorders, pocket recorders, and it sounds good. And I just don't think you can tell the difference. The other thing is you can use that lavalier mic indoors. You can use it on multiple people. You can use it at distances from your camera. That's a big issue. If you use a shotgun mic, you've got to be a certain distance from your talent. That's just not the case with the lavalier mic. The whole idea is your talent's carrying the whole recording system with them. And that makes a big difference. People can be at different distances from the camera and you still get consistent levels. And that's a big plus. Saves a lot of time in post. I think that the lavalier is really a great little system for beginners and also for experienced users. I think you'll find that they're used in a lot more cases than what you'd think. I do agree that the shotgun mics are nice and they give you good results, but you're going to have a boom operator and recorder to be able to get good quality with your boom mic. It can very easily lose focus by just moving it a little bit one way or the other, and you've lost your signal, or you've lost a lot of it. It's a lot of problems, and it takes a lot of experience to do it right. I don't have that kind of experience with operating a boom, but I can sure as hell clip a little lavalier on you and make a good video. That's my opinion. Get that lavalier mic and a lot of your audio problems will go away. And you don't need to buy a shotgun mic. If you need one, call me. I've got one with dust all over it in my drawer. Be willing to talk to you about it. I've got a real little nuisance here in my lap, and I'm gonna have to cut this video short. Take care of this boy, maybe put some food in his belly. This is JR, the TechSpat OTG, saying thanks for watching. Yeah, you're a good-looking cat, but you're black and nobody's gonna be able to see you. You're a stealth cat.